So in this next segment, we're going to 1989, and out of that feeling of disparateness and disconnection and yearning for unity, these lawmakers began to follow what the people voted for, which is a referendum to become independent again, to become nations that are outside of the Soviet Union. So these lawmakers were beginning to draft articles of independence, and then they were going to be drafting the Constitution and be making laws. But they had to get through all the legal hurdles. So, but they were here. You'll see these lawmakers are beginning to say that they're committed to doing this within the framework of the government that exists, which was the socialist government that was controlling their life at that time. They were going to work within the framework of that government to establish independence.
Двинуть все же жизнь, хотя методы неправильно, может быть, местами. Но будьте, показывайте пример, как вы.
So they're saying that any changes that they made would be done within the framework of the law and with respect for it. And now begins the soundtrack for The Baltic Way, which was a show of unity. They decided, if we all feel so separated and we all have the common goal of restoring our nations, why don't we create a human chain, link up between all of our nations, and let's take a look at this documentary's take on The Baltic Way. Listen for the soundtrack behind it. It's kind of pop military almost. And then I will show you another example of a pop rock song that was that really got people to arise.
Moscow kept on denying that the Soviet occupation of Estonia was illegal. So on the 50th anniversary of the signing of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, more than 1 million Estonians, Latvians, and Lithuanians created a 600-kilometer human chain.
It was something unimaginable. It was never seen before. We felt that this was something big.
Et igal rahval, ka väikesel, on vääramatu õigus olemasolule. On õigus rahvuslikule enesemääramisele.
It was an extraordinary show of mass defiance in the Baltic region of the Soviet Union. A human chain of protests that reached across the 3 Baltic republics, from Estonia in the north to Lithuania in the south.
It was very important feeling inside, and I remember that it made me shaky actually. It was such a great feeling to be there. That me, Ellen Liigus, I was important, I was part of the chain.
So next we go to a Latvian example from the same period, 1989. Again, the nascent ideas of emerging, but now trying to connect that idea of the yearning that one has inside, the fragmentedness that one has inside, this movement towards wanting to unify, they realized was larger than each nation itself, right? It contained all 3 of these nations. So here's a Latvian song that is about the unification of these 3 nations in terms of their arising or their waking together. The sounds of the synths from the 1980s, as you mentioned, would have been clearly a sign of hope, a sign of connection to the outside world. 3 sisters stand on the shores of the sea, full of weakness, full of tiredness. Talking about things that are important to them, though. 3 lands, wise and mindful of their lands themselves. So we get to hear some poetic imagery about the rising. Things that are shared in common between these nations. The 3 sisters rise out of their sleep. Stand for each other. Wake up, Baltics. Rise, Baltics. Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. Again, with the guitar feeling more in the front here. Alright. The guitar solo flowing out of that, so the cry here. Immediately recognizable guitar solo just playing the melody. Okay, and we end on footage there of the Baltic Way, which we were watching the news report of earlier. So this is going to be also listenable in the comments below, in the description below. You can listen to the whole song if you'd like. And we will now journey on to 1990. But hopefully you got a sense of pop rock, the sounds of the synths, the sounds of the distorted guitar. All these things were things that had to sneak through the Iron Curtain and were part of people's consciousness as free-thinking, emerging human beings. What's interesting to me so far about the story that we've been telling today is the desire, to be recognized in your own country. And I think that, again, I'm not trying to make direct parallels here between any groups or anything of that nature in terms of what happened in our nation's capital last night. But I do want to show that there are so many similarities here that we need to pay attention to it. So people that are feeling separated, disparate from themselves have now become, are going to try to evolve into the holders of power in their own nation. And what does that mean for the stakeholders on each side?